Let's make it a good day.
Today on The Jason Show, perfect scores aren't enough. A shocker on Dancing with the Stars last night, leaving new host Tyra shook. Plus, trouble already? New reports suggest it's not all roses for former Bachelorette Claire and her new beau. And cleaning up for a cause. Meet the Minnesota woman using her hobby to help others. It's an inspiring story you do not want to miss. Here we go.
Let's make it a good day. We do it our own way. Let's make it a good day. Oh, no matter what they say. Oh, yeah.
And good morning, everyone, and welcome to the special split edition of The Jason Show. Coming to you live from our studios in the Twin Cities. There's Kendall, and I'm joining you from my extra bedroom in Minneapolis. But let's start off by saying good morning to my sister from another mister, the lovely and talented. Good morning, Kendall.
Good morning, Jason. I love that it's your spare bedroom because that's what you always make fun of one of our other favorite guests for, is using a spare bedroom for a studio.
Yeah, I know. I make fun of Dax, and it is. I mean, if people watch the home shows over the summer, I know. If people watch the home shows over the summer, this atmosphere is familiar. This is where we did it. But this is actually our extra bedroom. But a couple months ago, I converted it into a radio studio, a podcast studio, and it was perfect timing because we needed it for the Jason Show. So, yeah, it works. It's nice. And for people wondering, and I've seen your messages on Facebook, I so appreciate it. Everything is fine. Colin and I are quarantining out of, and here's the phrase for 2020, out of an abundance of caution. So we're just being extra careful. I hope to be back in the studio probably next week. At the end of the week, I'm thrilled to say a little update on my mom, too. I'm thrilled to say we're going to be closing a chapter for my mother. We're returning to Louisiana. She's returning to Louisiana at the end of the week to kind of wrap things up so my mother can start looking forward and kind of stop looking in the rearview mirror. So I know people have been asking for an update on my mom. So it's been an exciting week, but hopefully next Monday or a week from yesterday, everything will be, I'll be back in the studio with you, Kendall, because I do miss you.
I do miss you too. I was going to say, what a sense of relief for your mom to be able to just go there and kind of wrap everything up with a bow. Sad, sentimental, of course, but to be able to move forward and just put that in the past.
Yeah, and it'll stop her from watching the Weather Channel.
Yeah. So true.
Because my mom, rightfully so, she's shaking her finger at the TV right now, but rightfully so, my mom has been worried about every hurricane that's come through Louisiana because, she still has items in her old house. So this is, all kidding aside, it's just going to be a blessing to get the movers there, get all of the remaining items that she has, and get her up here so she can get a house, start, once we're on the other side of COVID, my mom can get some friends and start building a new social circle up here, which I'm so excited. So, yeah, it's, again, looking forward instead of looking back. Now, before we get to the hot dish, I usually have a mug sitting at my desk with you. I do have a mug. Look at this, Kendall. It's Admiral Akbar from Star Wars. It's the biggest. Look at this. It's as big as my head. My cousin Stan got this for me for my birthday. Hello. Look how big. This is the biggest mug. Have you ever seen a bigger mug than this?
No, I don't think I have. But the actual where you would drink out of, the top of it, that looks like a normal size. So, I mean, that's good. Oh, no, it's huge. Just
yeah,
kidding.
Right there. It's a giant mug. But look, I mean, it is. I have a big head. Look, it's basically the size of my head. Look at that.
Oh, my word. I've been joking that you are like the Wizard of Oz, but with that mug in front of your face, you really actually do look like you could be the Wizard of Oz today. Mm-hmm.
I know. Here's a quote from Star Wars. It's a trap. Anyway, that's for the nerds out there, my fellow nerds. Okay, I'm going to toss it back to you. Let's kick off the hot dish.
All right, roll it, Leo. Time for the hot dish. You heard him. We are getting near the end of Dancing with, as Jason calls them, the semi-stars. The 6 remaining couples danced 2 numbers before the field was narrowed down to 4. Before we show you what happened, here, of course, our spoiler alert, because we don't want the emails. Perfect scores were handed out like candy. Every couple received at least a 30 out of 30. 30 out of 30. They don't hand those out very often. On at least one dance last night. Here's a little montage in case you missed.
I'm spending more than I earn. Drink all the time to forget I'm not her. So I try way too hard, but I still miss the mark to fit in. Fit in. Oh, hey.
A woman is a woman and a man ain't nothing but a man.
Woo, woo, woo. That's Alan Burstyn and Sky Jackson, Nelly, my personal favorite, and former Bachelorette Caitlin Bristow all getting perfect scores for their respective routines you just saw. Now, in the end, it came down to Johnny Weir, Justina Machado, and Sky and Alan. 2 out of those 3 were going home, and here's Tyra Banks with the very dramatic elimination.
The couple at the very bottom and leaving right now is Johnny and Britt. Oh, gosh. We know how hard they have worked. You guys have worked so hard this season. It is so sad to see them go. This one hurts so bad, judges. The judges are gonna have to save one of these couples and send them to the finale. Now, as always, if 2 of the judges are divided, the 3rd judge will cast the deciding vote. It's time for the judges' verdict.
I'm gonna have to save Justina.
Derek votes to save Justina.
You know, this is extremely difficult. Okay, wait. Okay. I have to go with who has scored more consistently higher, and I'm going to save Justina.
Okay.
I'm so sorry, Sky.
Oh, that was epically dramatic. And with that, Johnny Weir is out. And unfortunately, our local guy, Alan Burstyn, that's the first time Alan has been eliminated before the final round since May of 2018. He's got quite the track record there. And hey, he still made it to top 6. What do you think, Jason?
Yeah, look, if Alan had never won before, I would be bummed because we do love Alan. There's no denying that he's talented. There's no denying that Sky is talented. But can we just talk about, look, I get these shows are supposed to be dramatic. We make fun of it. We get dramatic to be funny. But, you know, Carry On and Naba was like, oh my goodness, I'm so shook. This is so hard. And then you have Tyra, you know, we need the judge's verdict. Come on, it's not, you know, it's Dancing with the Stars. It's not, let's keep a lid on this here. But no, I think I'm glad that Justina got it. You know this. I think you were with me. I love her. I don't want to call her an underdog because she has gotten great scores, but it's really great to see her win. Someone like Justina, who is not a Johnny Weir, meaning not an athlete, Sky, that has age on her side. Justina's my age, so I can say that, but I love her. And watch One Day at a Time. I want to throw that plug out there. It's a great show, Justina's show.
Love that show. All right, next in the dish, the Swifties are fired up again this morning. Scooter Braun has sold the masters to Taylor's first 6 albums. Sold them, girl. Scooter and Taylor feuded when he bought them last year, if you remember. The deal is said to be worth at least $300 million, but could be worth as much as $450 million. Woo. Insiders say in her 5 to 10 years, her masters could be worth 20 times what they're worth right now. But Taylor is still allowed to re-record those original songs. So I've been following this through our favorite old intern Kenny. He said, quote, he needed to get a law degree real quick. What I understand is that Taylor really wanted to work with this new buyer, but because Scooter was still part of it, she wouldn't do it. Fill me in, Jason.
Here's let me quote my executive producer Jeff. I'm so done with this story. No, and I'm not. But it seems like I feel like I'm in Pine Valley. You know, like this is going on and on and on and on. Because I just read right before our show launched in the Daily Mail the headline. Let me pull it up. I want to get it right. Taylor Swift criticizes Scooter Braun after $300 million master sale. It's like, okay, she didn't like him having it, and I was on her side, and now she doesn't like this investment firm, which I believe, I found out today from my buddy Kenny from the radio show. I think this is a subsidiary of Disney. I think it's the Roy Disney family that owns Shamrock Capital. They used to own, or maybe they still do, a group of radio stations. So in a kind of weird way, Mickey Mouse owns Taylor Swift songs now.
Oh, what? That's an interesting spin. Yeah, I don't know. I know that what she claims is that she would have had to sign an NDA to be a part of what Scooter was doing. There's all kinds of legal jargon involved in it from what I understand. But yeah, I have to agree. I think it's getting a little tired at this point.
Also, let's keep in mind, don't cry for me, Argentina. Taylor now has the right to re-record her masters. She is going to make a ton of money off that, which she should. These are her songs. So I guess that's where I'm coming from. And maybe intern Kenny's going to be mad at me. I have a little bit of trouble feeling bad for her. If she didn't get to record her masters, then I would feel worse. But she can re-record them. She will. Her fans will buy it. And fa la 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 la.
Intern Kenny just texts. He never wants to speak to you again. Sorry, Jace.
Well, he wouldn't be the first intern to never speak to me again.
Oh, with that, still to come, Jason will be reviewing the newest season of The Crown. Is everything he hoped it would be? But next, is there some infidelity in Bachelor Nation? Could America's couple be on the brink of a breakup? We have a dramatic update to Claire and Dale's love story. And then Anna meets a prince in a donut shop. You know what that means. It's probably time for the latest Hallmark movie review from producer Ted. We'll be right back.
About being a receiver, is it catching touchdown passes? Is it your dance celebrations?
I believe catching the touchdown passes, because they're like Pokemon to me. I gotta have them all.
What makes that connection with you guys on that particular throw so difficult for anybody to defend?
Yeah, I mean, it's like a saying my mom used to say, it must be maple syrup because butter don't drizzle like that.
Maybe even I bring that up and put that in his ear a little bit. Sometimes you gotta throw the sauce in your boss.
Well, it's there's not a week that goes by where Coach Reed isn't going to get on you, man. That's his job, Sometimes you just got to be like, take it easy, roller coaster tycoon. You know what I mean?
What your mom said is a quote that I am not familiar with. Can you elaborate a little more on that?
Syrup drizzles, you got to make that play. And a stick of butter, it's a block. You got to put it in the microwave to melt it.
Oh, she called Gronk out. Jimmy Fallon getting NFL players to drop it in during their press conferences. You might have missed it last year. He did that too with PGA players, and it's always pretty entertaining. Jason is back. Hello, Jason.
Hello, Kendall. I don't know why we're speaking. We do this when we're in a good mood. We speak in a fake British accent. And it reminds me, my friend Lisa LaCourcier, we went to Chicago. Remember back when we could travel, Kendall? But we were in Chicago, and we went to this little bar that we go to all the time. It's a little hole in the wall right off the Magnificent Mile called Pippin's. And Lisa LaCourcier, she may have had a cocktail or 17, and she started speaking in a fake British accent. And little did she know the gentleman sitting next to her was actually British and was not amused at all of Lisa's fake British accent. And she did it for a record 5 hours. So at least we only do it for just a few minutes.
I mean, those Brits need to loosen up. It's just a form of flattery, I tell ya. Oh. All right, more late night.
And I gotta give it to Lisa. It was a quality fake British accent. Yeah.
Right. I mean, she put in grade A effort for 5 hours. Hand it to her. All right, everybody, more late night. Ryan Phillippe was on with Kimmel last night, and he talked about driving cross country in his Tesla. Take a look.
So I started researching, where are you allowed to sleep safely when you're on the road? Walmart.
That's right. I know
Walmart is a haven for drivers. Like anyone, if they're in danger or if you're driving a truck, you're allowed to legally park and sleep in a Walmart
Most of
parking
them,
lot.
yeah. RVs, they will let you park your RV in the Walmart parking lot.
Yeah, and so, Jimmy, that's what I did. I got to a Walmart somewhere in Virginia.
Wow.
And they had a Tesla charger, and I put on camping mode, and I curled up, and I spent the last night of my journey in a
The stars really are just like us. It's remarkable.
I am very much a man of the people. Very much.
All right, Ryan said he experienced range anxiety on the trip because you can only make it so far on a single charge in your lovely, brand spanking new bajillion-dollar Tesla. Very relatable. He has a new show on ABC called Big Sky. Jason, because you love Dallas, this is not news. Big Sky, to me at least, kind of looks like it's in that same filter. I'm not trying to offend. I just mean kind of the same idea. Am I wrong?
I don't know. We'll see. It's from David E. Kelly, who did Big Little Lies, L.A. Law. Look, if people have been with me long enough to know, they know that I love Ryan Phillippe. You know, if I was a teenager, I would have pictures of him in my locker. And I've been that way since like 96. We're the same age. I love him. So I'm going to watch I don't care the quality of the show. I'm going to watch just because of Ryan Phillippe. But that Tesla thing is interesting because I guess there's a setting like GPS where the car will guide you to where the next charging station is. And that's what he did. He traveled across country from LA to Delaware, and he let the car dictate the route based on where there were charging stations. Isn't that crazy? That would stress me out.
This is very E.T. phone home to me. E.T. Just follow the blinking light, where to go. I don't know. No.
Except it's charging stations.
And not an alien universe. Whatever. I'll never need to know either way. Next in the dish, the rumor mill is alive and well in Bachelor Nation this morning. Y'all, it is juicy. Do you guys remember Claire and Dale? No? Okay, here's a clip.
What is next for you guys? Moving in together? Wedding? What's up?
I think, like, you know, obviously.
Babies.
Really, like, we've talked.
Yeah, you just skipped right over that.
Yeah, I mean, if that look didn't say it all. Rumor has it Dale was spotted in New York City this weekend getting real cozy with a woman who is not Claire. Now, this obviously comes as a shock. Dale proposed to Claire after one mini date that included a fantasy suite. And as you can see here, clearly they were cuddly and loving and adorable in this specific situation, but not really quite what we hear. We did talk to producer Ted about this, since, you know, this is really his lane. Apparently, he says, oh yeah, of course he did, because Claire and Dale clearly didn't have clearly had chemistry, but didn't have a lot of time, if you know what I mean. Executive producer Jeff also agreed that, yeah, this is probably what's going on. I have no idea. I hope that they were a happy couple, that things were looking good, but since this is more my realm, Ted's realm, we'll just leave it at that, because that's what it is. All right, next in the dish, this is for the nerds out there. All of us. And I'm not just talking to you, I'm talking to me too. John Boyega from Star Wars says he'd be open to joining another iconic franchise. John says if he's asked to become the new James Bond, what? He'd do it. He hasn't been rumored to be among the folks in contention to replace Daniel Craig. Now, those top contenders that we've read about, we've heard about, that have been in the news, they're James Norton, the Brit, Tom Hardy, the most beautiful man alive, and Idris Elba, arguably also one of the most beautiful men alive. Some women have also been floated, which would be pretty cool. So maybe this is John's people just trying to get something started. Now, I did a little bit of research on this. Yes, he's not in those top 3 names that we just talked about. I personally would love to see a Tom Hardy in this mix just because I personally am in love with Tom Hardy, but that's just me. And my husband did try to ruin it for me with several scenes from several movies he's been in, but he could not do that. Idris Elba, who I heard was a really big one, that was really the biggest, like, this is probably gonna be who it is, I think would be fantastic. Women love him, and hey, is it not about time that we finally have someone in color in that position? Or a woman. There's a couple of different women in contention. I can't remember their names right off the bat. They're all Brits, but could be a really good one. John Boyega, we wish you well. We love doing Star Wars. Could be a thing. We'll find out. Who knows? Next in the dish, Black Panther 2 will be filming early next year, and we're learning who will not play the title character. Not who will not. The executive producers of the film say they will not be using a digital version of the late Chadwick Boseman. There had been rumors that they might try to bring him back, but the producer says there's only one Chadwick and he's no longer with us. They're still deciding how they will honor him in the franchise. Chadwick died back in August from colon cancer, as many of you know. I think, Jason, I think that this is a pretty good move on their part to say, we've learned we don't want to disrespect him or disrespect his story in any way by just trying to recreate him. We're just going to move on with the storyline. What do you think?
Yeah, it's very much, when Disney has experience with this, Disney owns Marvel. They have experience with this with Star Wars. Carrie Fisher passed away right before the Episode 9 in the Star Wars franchise was getting ready to film. Last Jedi, the second one in the sequel trilogy, had been released, or was getting ready to be released, and they needed to figure out what to do with Princess Leia. And they made the same call. They said, we're not going to recast someone as legendary as Carrie Fisher. We're just going to have to figure it out. So Disney has a really good track record with being respectful, and I think this is a good move. I think if they try to do, a CGI version, or if they tried to do some trickery, I think not only would fans not buy it, but they would also find it disrespectful, rightfully so. So I don't know, if I were them, and obviously, and I think the family, I believe, said this, I don't think the Black Panther character should leave, should go away. I think it should be recast in a respectful way, just like Captain America. There's been various Captain Americas and various Spider-Mans. Maybe there's just a different Black Panther. So it's not really replacing Chadwick, Yeah,
absolutely. And they kind of led the storyline. The whole thing was that the Black Panther, when one of them dies, a new one becomes the Black Panther. So it could really work out. All right, next in the dish, 2 of TV's biggest stars are getting together for a new comedy on ABC. Alec Baldwin and Kelsey Grammer are teaming up with the creator of Modern Family for a new series. The show will revolve around 3 guys who were roommates in their 20s until their warring egos drove them apart. That happens. Decades later, they reunite one more run at the lives they wished they'd always had. The show is slated for next fall's lineup. I love Modern Family, Jason, so I'm all over this. I'm ready for it.
I am too, and I also think that casting is great. And I want old-fashioned shows like this. I want a good sitcom. So I'm ready for this. I'm ready for, well, we just need a breath of fresh air. We need a moment to laugh. This could be it.
Okay, I'm into it too. All right, still ahead, everybody. The Crown Prince of Gallowwick finds himself stranded in Connecticut. Will he make it back to his kingdom in time for Christmas? And will he connect with a local nurse he met in a donut shop? Ooh, producer Ted is reviewing the latest Hallmark Christmas movie. That is when we come back.
Hello. 3 black English breakfast teas, please. 1 second, sir.
So good. You're missing out.
If you like pastry and you're in Europe, you should try the Galwegian Yule cake.
Ooh, sounds good. What is it?
It's a puff pastry with French vanilla cream in the middle, chocolate ganache and sugar crystals on top.
You literally just described this.
It's not the same, I'm sure.
Well, how do you know if you won't try it?
I don't generally accept food from strangers.
Anna, Jordan. You are?
James.
James. Nice to meet you.
Well, if you can't find love in a donut shop, where can you find love? I mean, really. I mean, a donut shop. You can get a little cream-filled donut, and you can find a boyfriend. That is a clip from the new Hallmark Christmas movie, One Royal Holiday. And mentioning Hallmark means only one thing around these parts. It's time once again for Producer Ted Reviews Christmas Movies. That's right. Get the hot chocolate and the kids around the fireplace. Joining us from Hallmark Movie Headquarters is our illustrious producer and Hallmark expert, Producer Ted. Good morning, Ted.
Good morning. Can you hear me? Hello.
Good morning. Okay, so I can hear you now. Okay, so this is has a royal. This isn't The Crown. This isn't Downton Abbey. Give us a little feel of what this one's about.
I mean, close. It's close to those two, but this is yeah. So they met in a donut shop. The prince and the queen and crown prince of Galwick. Have you heard of that country? I think it's sort of near Norway. So they're in the United States just hanging out, and they trying to get back to Boston. They get stuck in a snowstorm. They meet in a donut shop. Her parents own a inn, oddly enough. So she welcomes the crown prince and the queen there. There's another snowstorm. They're stuck, but will they find love? That's the question.
Okay, so there's always a stable of normal actors that are in all of these. So are there any notables in this one?
This is a big one. This one's a big one for us. Laura Osnes. You know her? She's from Burnsville.
She sounds very familiar. We've had her on the show, haven't we?
That's what executive producer Jeff said. We have reached out to her via Instagram to see if she will come on our show and tell us what it was all about. We'll see if she responds. So she's on the show. She's a Tony-nominated actress. And then Aaron Tveit. I don't know who he is. He played the Crown Prince. I will just say this, that guy. I will say this. She, and I'm not saying this because she's a local gal and I'm trying to suck up to her because I want her to come on the show. She was great in this. She was great in this. He's trying to be kind of this stiff crown prince, and it's just like, dude, you got to give me something. So I liked her. I didn't really like him.
Okay, and if memory serves me right, and I believe you said his name is Aaron, I think he is a Broadway star too. I think most recently, if it's who I'm thinking of, he is in Moulin Rouge, which was on Broadway before Broadway shut down.
Yeah.
I think that's him.
He's been nominated for a Tony and a Grammy. So these are two very seasoned Broadway actors and actresses.
Okay, well, let's go. So you liked her. He wasn't so great. So let's go through. Well, before we do the checklist, you liked her, but did you actually like the movie?
I found myself, and I kind of do this thing during it, and I'm holding up my phone right now, and I kind of look at my phone. I found myself intrigued about where this thing was going. So it did pull me in. It did pull me in.
Okay, well, now let's go through the checklist to make sure that everything is as it should be. And I think we added some new things, but let's start off with an oldie but a goodie. Big city girl, small town guy, any type of dynamic like that?
So this one's interesting. So we have the big city girl, she's from Boston, goes home for the holidays, which is a small town in Connecticut. He is a prince from Galwick. I don't know if that's a big country. I mean, they could be in the G7. I don't know. And he's stuck there. So I think we'll give that a half a check.
Okay. I'll Google Galwick in a little bit. Okay, next. Was there a kiss in a gazebo?
I believe this is our first kiss of the gazebo. this season. Check.
Okay. And now we have some new additions thanks to a wonderful Jason Show viewer. Ted, did they make cookies together?
They did not make cookies together, but they did. He was putting a gingerbread house together. So, kind of.
Okay. And did you know the ending before, like, I don't know, the first commercial?
Right before the first commercial, I was like, they're going to fall in love, and the other couple is going to fall in love. So, yes.
Okay. And finally, the most important thing. Leo, get the animation ready. Ted, how many Hallmark Gold Crowns are you giving one royal holiday?
Well, I'm very excited because, we've had a rough go of it in the last couple of weeks. We had a half crown, we had a crown. Well, this week we're going to step it up a little bit. This week we are giving one royal holiday. Wait for it. 2 crowns. I actually wanted to give it 2.5 crowns, but our graphics department couldn't get me the half crown this time.
Okay. I won't make any comments on that one. Ted Johnson, everybody. If you missed this, you can watch this segment a little bit later on our Facebook page. And, of course, you can watch all those movies on Hallmark Channel. We're going to take a break, everyone. We'll be back in just a little bit. Stay with us.
What does one have to do to get some kindness in this family?
In time, she will give up her fight and bend, as they all do.
And if she doesn't bend, what then? She will break.
It's a powerful moment from season 4 of The Crown. Welcome back, everyone. You know we try to keep you up to date with some great shows that are streaming, and there is no bigger show other than Queen's Gambit, but you're already watching that, than The Crown season 4. It debuted over the weekend on Netflix, and Nat is the cousin, the cheaper, on Netflix. I'm sure when all is said and done, this is going to rank number 1 on the rating scale. For me, it was number 1 on Sunday. I didn't really leave the living room. I poured through basically half of the season. And as Vulture.com said, season 4 delivers what we've been waiting for. Look, I've loved seasons 1 through 3. They've been fine. But this brings us to the late 70s and into the 80s, basically better known as the Princess Di Margaret Thatcher years. We're going to begin with Margaret Thatcher, played by Gillian Anderson, played brilliantly by Gillian Anderson. In this scene right here, the Queen and Prime Minister Thatcher come face to face for the first time. Take a look.
Your Majesty.
Your party has won the election. It is my very great pleasure to invite you to form a government in my name. Congratulations, Prime Minister.
Thank you, Ma'am.
Please.
That iciness, or I should say over-politeness, really never ended throughout their decades-long relationship. Some say it even preceded Prime Minister Thatcher's death in the early 2000s, I believe 2006. They were really never, according to historians, never really close. But The Crown really explores their relationship, both in a political sense and a personal sense. So you kind of be the judge of how much they're really adding some Hollywood spice. Moving on to Diana, which is really the crown jewel, no pun intended, of season 4. Played by Emma Corrin, Princess Diana. We meet her as just Diana Spencer when the season opens, is amazing. She is breathtaking as Diana. And Emma's performance really makes you feel for Diana. And at the same time, you kind of dislike Prince Charles. Now, as we went on the air I was reading an article in the Daily Mail. A lot of Prince Charles's friends are coming to his defense because season 4 doesn't paint him very well. Now, again, it's up to us, to remember that this is a fictionalized version of history. We can kind of decide for ourselves what's real, what's not. But I will say in the episodes that I've watched, you can't take your eyes off Emma as Princess Di, especially when she is portraying in such a real and powerful way the alleged, I say alleged because it's some people say she did and some people say that she didn't. They really tackled Diana's eating disorder that she struggled with through what the show says through most of the marriage. And it is unflinching. They even put a warning on 2 of the episodes, and they show it in a very realistic way. And you really see the private torment that Diana really felt in the beginning of her marriage to Prince Charles and during the middle of her marriage. I'm not to the end yet. It is probably going to go down as my favorite season. I agree with we brought you the early reviews. I agree with all the early reviews. This is what we've been waiting for, both in Gillian Anderson as Margaret Thatcher and Emma Corrin as Princess Diana. It is a winner. So if you jumped off the bandwagon in season 3, come back for season 4 of The Crown. You can stream it right now on Netflix. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Kendall will rejoin me on this special split edition of our show. Back right after.
Version of the Jason Show. Welcome back, everyone. Making soap is a popular hobby for many people, but for one local woman, her hobby turned into a passion project to help others. Amicus Soap Company isn't really a company. Instead, it's described as a good soap for great causes. I met up with the woman behind the soap. Sarah, our friend Jace told us about you, and he said, you got to check out this Amicus Soap Company. Like, you just have to check it out. It's this woman, she comes and hands out soap for free to different people. And I was like, of course. Then I talked to you, and I'm like, wait, you hand out soap for free? That's not even your 9 to 5. What did you say? You aggressively don't sell
Aggressively don't sell it, that's right.
You just hand it out to people, just to people in need. You said organizations you care about.
That's right, especially after the uprising earlier this summer in the wake of George Floyd's death. I needed to do something that was direct and simple and colorful and fun for me, as well as a way to connect and be friendly to people around me who I see working so hard to rebuild our community.
I'm like, where do you find the time to hand all this out? You make it and then you hand it out. Do you have people that help you do this?
I do have one assistant though, and that's my cat who's appearing in the window as we film. Mitz is not helpful. It is sometimes confusing to people when I say this is free, I won't take money for it. Maybe if you want to, you can post on my Facebook page about what you were inspired to do and pass it on somehow. Pass on a small, tiny bit of gratitude just to keep us in community.
Gratitude, love, and cleanliness. Okay, well, let's do soap.
Unfortunately, it's a little too cold for us to actually make soap
Oh, right.
today.
I should probably preface that. We can't actually make soap because, it just has to be a very cleanly process. I can't just walk into your house and make soap.
Well, what I brought out were some of the ingredients, the funnest ingredients. Some of the oils that we use for scent, and some of the colorant, and some of the oils that we use for conditioning, and the stuff that makes your skin feel extra nice.
Like, these colors are so pretty.
Thank you. That's one of the funnest parts of it.
Yeah.
Is playing with the colors. Some of these things you can get at a local store. Some of them you can't. If you're starting out and interested in making soap, there certainly are basic ingredients you can get. I do order from certain companies online for some of the essential oils and some of the colorants.
And some of this is foraged.
You got it. This is actually wild plantain. It's dried. I have one of the soaps that I've put this in. I've crumbled it up, and it's a beautiful herb that grows absolutely everywhere. Very much considered a weed, but absolutely excellent for the skin.
Go in your yard, people. This is the best kind of foraging there is.
You're right. Some of the other ingredients that I love to use for conditioning and lather are some shea butter, sweet almond oil. This is called rice bran oil. I thought maybe you could take a guess what this kind of liquid stuff is.
Crisco?
No, it's kind of got a bad reputation. Castor oil.
Oh, castor oil. It was like Crisco works, right?
Well, you can actually use Crisco in soap if you want to. You're
Thank you.
brilliant.
I'm here all day, everybody.
You're correct.
Okay, cool. Well, I have to try a soap. I want the one that looks like Rainbow Bright.
Oh, that one's excellent. So here's some more.
Gosh.
I hope you like the feel of it.
I do. Oh, it's very like bubbly. This is luxury.
There you go. I hope it feels good.
Oh, it does. And not dry.
That's the idea.
Yeah, not at all. Oh man, thanks.
It's just been a joy to do it. I really have enjoyed being able to give back to some of the organizations in the community, like the Minnesota Indian Women's Resource Center, A Dream of Wild Health, an Indigenous youth food sovereignty project, Reclaim mental health services for LGBTQ youth. It's a joy for me. It's mostly about my good experience. I feel like it's just a wonderful thing to be part of. It's fabulous. That's all I got.
Sarah is a wonderful woman too. I know that it's kind of hard to watch it from home from where you are, Jason, but you could hear it. And the fact that she makes this soap out of her own home off her own dime and just hands it out to people, how cool is that?
It is so great. And I just want to say this is a really good example. And we always say, hey, contact us, and we're getting ready to tell you, hey, contact our show via social media. But this came to us from Jace, who's a beloved member of our family, the Jason Show fan club. We always refer to him as the gentleman that got our logo tattooed on his leg. But he's a great example of bringing somebody to our attention. He emailed us and he reached out to you. He reached out to me and he's like, hey, I think this is a person that might not be on your radar that should be on your radar. And he knows we love that. We love shining the light on people and places and things that don't always get the attention that they deserve. So I say this because I encourage all of you to keep those emails coming. I mean, we may not do every single story. We can't. It's impossible. But this is a really good example of when we can, we will. And I'm so glad that we did.
We absolutely will. Amicus Soap Company on Facebook if you want to check her out. We will be right back.
And welcome back, everyone. As I always say, thanks for watching us live. Record the other guys. But if you miss our show and miss our replay at noon on our sister station Fox 9 Plus, you can also watch full episodes on our Jason Show YouTube channel. Here's how you find it. Just search for The Jason Show on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button, please, oh please. And if you want a reminder when we upload new episodes, hit that bell. Again, The Jason Show on YouTube. We're going to take a break. Kendall will join me for our bubblegum goodbye when we come back. Back in a moment. And welcome back, everyone. Our remaining minutes in our special split edition of the show. Kendall's back at the studio. Kendall, take it away with our bubblegum goodbye.
Bubblegum goodbye, pre-opened by yours truly. Jason, what's your TV guilty pleasure?
I will say, well, I mean, Dallas is goofy and Knots Landing, but that's the usual. I think the show that I watch the most, like I have it, are the old seasons of The Real Housewives of New York. I call that my napping show. I have it on all the time. I love that franchise. I always will. You?
Well, the Kardashians are my junk TV. HGTV, really anything on it, is my go-to TV. And the real humdinger here is any Alaska wilderness shows. Into them. By the way, do we want to take a full screen shot of Jason right now? Because he has a delightful message for our audience. Oh, look at that.
I'm sorry. What? I don't know. What message are you referring to?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know. But look behind you, Jason. It magically appeared.
Oh, that one. Oh, that one.
Jeff snuck in. Jeff
And by the way, I mean these are working. I don't know if people heard, but since I posted that both Ted and Jeff are single yesterday, they are both engaged.
Oh my goodness. Well, hey, that's tomorrow on the show. Jason and I will be back.
The power of the Jason Show.
The power of the Jason Show. Ted is reviewing The Bachelorette. Jeff's getting engaged. The vet doc, Eric Ruland, is back. Jason's at home, and I'm right here. Join us tomorrow, Wednesday, right here on The Jason Show. Have a good day, everybody.